Welcome to Waypoint, everyone. This time we are diving back into our little intermission arc with Max at summer camp, and I will let our incredible cast introduce themselves. Say hi, cast.
Hi, cast.
Of course you did. Why did you expect anything different? Why?
Hi, I'm Julian. I play Will, aka Willoughby Crowley, which is his full name, who is a magic user and doesn't want to be at this fucking camp.
I'm Sam. I'm playing Robin Gray, who doesn't have any superpowers, but everybody thinks they do because they are very perceptive about people.
Hi, I'm Mimi, and after all this time, I'm still playing Max.
It's still you.
It's still me.
And I guess you still have electromagnetic control.
It's actually electrodynamic control.
Yeah, actually it says electrodynamic control on the sheet. And the magnetic thing is just something that we sort of settled on Max also being able to do. Because we mispronounced it a few times, I think.
No, I actually did look up electrodynamics, and that's also part of it.
Okay. So like electromagnetics is a part of electrodynamics.
Yeah. Like,
Right.
at least
cool.
that's what my Googling told me, so...
Yeah, that's fine. It's like, I think static shock also can, like, move metal with lightning bolts. So it's probably something like that. That works.
I mean, I know from my physics class that electricity can induce a magnetic field, and so I'm gonna assume that magnetism and electricity goes closely enough together that you'd
Yeah,
work
it's
with
basically that whole field of everything that has to do with electricity, from what I saw.
That's fine. I mean, people could probably also argue for wind powers being able to generate electricity or something like that. If
I
you
mean,
can,
like-
density of air.
Yeah.
The Flash can shoot lightning, so, you know...
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not actually lightning in the traditional sense. That comes actually from the Speed Force energy.
You know, actually, if you rub two things together, then you can cause friction, and friction can cause free electrons, and that can discharge in a lightning strike. So actually,
When you run very fast, you can generate a lot of heat. So also he should have heat powers.
I love that you guys have mansplaining voices.
Okay, I'm gonna paint you a little picture. The sun shines brightly above Lake Silvercrest Summer Camp for children with superhuman abilities. A light breeze winds its way through the birches and oak trees of the forests, flits across the sandy shore of the lake, and seems to freeze at the sight of an enormous iceberg in the middle of the lake, lit from inside by a softly glowing green sword. Dozens of floating sheets of ice drift and bump against each other, making a quiet crackling sound that reaches a group of people standing at the shore. Max Powers, Willoughby Crowley, and Robin Gray all look at Laurie Ballard, one of the camp counselors, who gave them the first task of today's scavenger hunt. Get that sword. And please, don't die trying. And this is where this little episode starts. You guys are at the lake shore. There's an iceberg. There's a sword. Get it.
I telekinesis the sword.
It doesn't work.
Ah,
There's an
dang.
iceberg around it.
It's in the middle of the iceberg.
It's in the middle of the iceberg.
So we have to ang it out, is what we're saying.
Is it like Aang in the iceberg, or is it like the sword in the stone from Arthur?
No, it's not sword in the stone. It's Aang in the iceberg.
Okay.
So the thing is less how do we get across to the iceberg, it's more how do we get the sword out of the iceberg.
Bit of both, I would say.
It's still in the water, right? Like, it's still a little bit of water until the iceberg.
Is it, like, physically possible to break ice with lightning?
Probably.
I mean, lightning is an explosion of sort. You can try it.
I can break the ice. I would just need help getting there, I think.
You just need a very good opening line, then you can break the ice.
Okay,
Yes.
I'm gonna talk. Yeah, let's go in character. In character, Willoughby doesn't say anything until you ask him.
That's fair.
Makes sense.
All right. I mean, I could probably jump across without that much of a problem, but
Over,
I
like, the
have
floating-
nothing to over the floating pieces of ice. Yeah.
Yeah,
Makes
they
sense.
seem weirdly convenient as a jumping platform.
Wahoo!
I feel like maybe we should go, like, together over there.
So that I can basically show you which ones are the ones that I would tread on.
Yes, you can go first, and then the two of us follow.
All
That's
right.
fine.
So your plan is to get a better look at the thing.
Yes.
To get close enough, yeah.
Yeah, to jump and run over.
That sounds to me like Robin wants to do a brains move to analyze the sheets of ice for stability.
Yeah, and then just hop across.
And to navigate us.
Okay, I'm gonna divide that into two different things because I think finding the correct place to where you should jump and actually jumping there are brains and brawns and not just brains.
Damn it.
But I will say, I would say if you successfully analyze the ice, I'm gonna give each of you an additional die for jumping them.
That's
All right.
very nice and fair.
But it will be a bronze.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to analyze the ice. Give me a brains roll.
How many dice do I get?
I would say since your ability helps with that, I will say you get 1 extra dice, so 2 dice in total.
Wow.
I cannot say if looking at ice is daring and awesome, so I'm not gonna give you that one.
I got 2 5s, which is my number.
amazing.
Oh.
You got ultra power.
Yes. Twice.
So first off, these are 2 successes, which means it works well, but you also get a brief connection with the universe. What is the question? How are we gonna want to handle this? Are we gonna say each number that you roll equates to 1 question you can ask, or just 1 question in total? I don't think there's anything in the rules
I think
specifically
because
about
it was
this case.
2 perfect rolls, I get 2 questions, isn't it?
I think that makes sense.
I would say so. Yeah.
Well, will lightning be able to get the sword out of the knot stone?
Ice.
Ice.
As you look at the ice, you have this little instinct of, okay, how is it shaped? How dense does it look? How does it behave? It seems like the ice has a lot more cracks in it than should be in an iceberg of that size. You feel like shooting lightning at these cracks might be able to split the entire iceberg open, yes.
Right.
If you aim it right, if you hit one of those cracks, that might be like a chain reaction going through the ice in a Scratch in Ice Age kind of style.
Can I suggest a second question?
Yes, please, because I have no idea.
Is the sword magnetic?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, while you look at the sword and trying to gauge which kind of cracks might be useful there, you see that the sword seems to glow all the way through. And as you look a little bit closer and get a better look from a different side, it seems slightly translucent, so you would assume it's not a metal sword.
Right, okay.
So I would assume
So
probably
not magnetic.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So destroying the mountain and then just pulling it out of the water is not viable.
So,
Not if you want to use magnetism, no.
I kind of now want to do, like, do you remember Tabaluga TV from...
Yes,
Yes.
for sure. Absolutely.
That's
going to be very
Oh, my
relatable to our
childhood.
American audience.
I know, right? So there's this game in the end of it where
It's a game show for
winning-
kids.
The winning team gets to maneuver over an ice field by one person seeing the ice field, like seeing which ones are the ones that you are able to tread on and which ones are the ones that you would fall into the water if there were any water. And one person is the one who is stepping onto the ice and the other person is standing on the shore directing their movements. I want to be the person who stays back on shore and directs the other person's movement,
Okay,
which
I mean-
would be Max in this case,
works.
because I just realized that you can actually totally crack this with lightning.
I feel like it might make sense for both of us to go and you to stay behind.
Yeah, also that. But
I could go, yeah.
I don't want to go across because that would not end well for me.
I mean, you also cannot help that much if you're there,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. I would just be able to point at the iceberg and be like, there's a crack. And I think you're able to do that alone.
I really don't want to get wet, but I guess.
Can you not magic your clothes to, like, repel water or something?
I mean, I can, but I have to cast that. And casting doesn't always work.
Okay.
I can... Oh, I have an idea. No, wait, that makes no sense. Okay, forget it.
No. I want to hear it.
I just had the idea that I could, like, levitate you with magic, but, like, why would you need to be levitated?
Because it's awesome.
I can levitate the sword after you break it out of the ice.
Okay, fine, but can you levitate me after? Like, I just want to be levitated, okay?
Just as a trick.
Okay, I can levitate you.
Promise?
Promise.
Yep. Start with the
Yes.
Traversing of the ice.
floating ice
Yes.
challenge.
That one there. Jump to that one there.
All right.
Okay, I'm gonna condense all that one there, no the one on the left, no the other left, to a roll of brawn from each of you
Yep.
with 1 dice. If you do any of you, I don't know if any of your abilities especially help with jumping against over sheets of
Actually,
ice.
like, I don't really have to move over there, right? Like, that's something that Max should be able to do on her own.
Depends on what your plan was. I gathered that Robin was wanting to stay at the shore and directing you, and that you and Max wanted to go over to the iceberg.
I mean, I guess I can also go over. I just don't know what Will's role in this is.
I mean, I can go first, and then, like, let's see how that works out.
Yeah, that works.
And then you throw
Okay.
the sword and Will catches it in midair.
We'll see. Listen,
So-
we'll wing it.
I will say
That
this is
works.
a brawn roll with 1 dice for just doing a roll and an additional dice for the help that Robin is giving you. And if you're going to do it in any daring and awesome way, you might get another dice, but then I would need some juicy descriptions.
Okay. Quick question again. For brawn, I would have to be
Over.
over, right?
Above your number,
That-
yes.
That's why I have no chance, because my number is a 5.
Yeah. Just.
I mean, you have a chance.
That's some metagaming shit there. Go for it. What would Robin do?
Max.
Don't they want
I
to
mean,
prove
Robin is
themselves?
doing what Robin would do, I think.
I think so
I,
too.
I did the brainy thing. The brawny thing can be handled by somebody else.
I mean, you couldn't help over there that much, I
Yeah,
think. So.
exactly.
I'm doing the well thing by not doing it at all.
Yeah.
And I'm doing the max thing by
By
just...
actually playing the game.
Yes, by, doing the thing we're supposed to do with as much passion as possible.
Yes.
Mimi, give me a brawn roll with 2 dice.
I'm-
Unless you can give me a very, very cool
Yeah,
description,
I'm
then you might get
thinking,
an
how could I
additional
make
one.
that, like, really awesome? I think I
I
might...
just don't
you
know
could
if there's
do-
an awesome way to jump over the ice,
That's
right?
what I'm thinking. I think maybe it's just like taking the running start and doing it as fast as possible. And using basically the force you get from sliding over the ice to get you to the next one as fast as possible. And in the end, basically land like a gymnast. With
So you want
arms
to
raised
run
into the air.
over the slippery ice while still catching what your teammate is shouting to you about which sheet of ice you're supposed to land on. Okay, that sounds daring. That sounds daring. I'm not sure if I would call it awesome, but you're putting yourself out there. You get 1 more dice.
Listen,
3 dice, bronze.
If I do it, it's gonna be awesome, okay? At least to max.
Oh yeah. If you don't do it, it's gonna be so hilarious.
I know, right?
Roll these dice for me.
Well,
that was close.
I have an exact 3, which is my number,
No, it wasn't.
and 2 4s.
Nice.
Yep. Full success.
Very nice.
Yay.
So, you do exactly what you wanted to do. You have a lot of successes, so this is a critical success. That means you also get something. But first, do you want to ask a question first, or do you want to wait until you are at the iceberg and...
I actually do want to ask a question first, and that question doesn't
Okay.
really have to do with the solution to this task. It has to do with what exactly are they trying, basically, to judge here. Like, is it teamwork? Is it our powers? Is it basically how clever we are? Like, what is the point of this task?
While you are jumping across and sliding across the ice, you think, oh damn, this is impressive. I'm being so cool right now. And you're thinking about, oh, I hope they notice that I'm doing some cool stuff. Then you remember that this camp is a lot about teamwork, which is a workshop you went to, and also since you guys have been given a secret mission for this second week, you have the feeling that teamwork and showing you can learn from each other and use each other's advantages and disadvantages to balance your team out would be something that they would look favorably upon.
That makes sense.
So you have a feeling like this is less about succeeding and more about showing what you've learned in the first week in solving this puzzle.
I mean, we already
Which
worked together
teamwork
a
and
bit,
control over your powers is a big part of.
Yeah, I'm asking this because I think to actually do well in a task, you have to understand what it's about. And Max is very invested in doing well.
Is this enough of an answer for you?
It is.
Okay. So, I'm gonna say, there is this awesome moment as you slide across one of the sheets of ice where it starts to tip, but you jump back a step and actually use the tipping of the sheet of ice to launch yourself above another one. And as you land on the iceberg, you slide in a very cool pose and stand almost directly underneath a big crack that you couldn't see from the shore, but you can see from the side, that leads almost exactly behind the glowing sword that looks very lightningable.
So, should I just keep going and shoot the thing?
Yeah, just shoot it.
Shoot it.
Just shoot it.
Alright, then I guess I'm gonna shoot it.
This sounds a lot like a brawn roll to me. Very physical, very impulsive.
Oh yeah.
Very emotionally fueled. So shoot the iceberg, I guess.
Yes, and I think at this point that maybe Max doesn't have the full control she has later on, so it's usually just a decision between like a little spark, sparky, or just full-blown lightning that you could see across the entire lake. And, you could probably feel the crackling in the air and everything. And obviously for this task, it will be the latter.
Why am I getting Azula flashbacks?
A bit like that, except way less control, and the murderous intent isn't there.
That's good, thank you.
In this specific situation.
I was thinking of Azula towards the end, by the way, where control wasn't really a thing.
That is true. That is true. But I feel like the murderous intent,
you
is
don't have
pretty
that.
important there.
The moment that Max can be described with the words murdering intent, I'm gonna be extremely frightened for everyone involved.
I mean,
I have to provoke that now. I have to make setup for that now in the main plot.
you know what?
I mean, that is how you could clear the angry condition, so...
To be fair, I do love a good, pure character who wants to be a hero actually turns into a villain story.
That's fair, yeah. Even if it's just for 5
And
minutes.
there is the option to retire your character and give them over to the...
Dark side.
Oh, but it says they are a paragon of the city. Damn it.
I mean, you
So
can probably
you could
wing it.
decide to change characters and give
just play the
Max
doomed.
to
Just play
Julian
the
as a
doomed.
supervillain. Okay, we were at the full-blown lightning strike.
Exactly.
So
I feel like that
I'm
would be pretty
debating if I'm
impressive.
gonna give you the action is staring and awesome, but I think that sounds to me more like the most brawny thing you can possibly do. Very
I guess,
emotional and
kinda.
impulsive.
I mean, I don't think very emotional in that way because it's still very goal-oriented, but I still feel like it's impulsive, and especially since the lack of control is there. Yeah, fair enough.
So I'm gonna stay with 2 dice
Yeah, okay.
to reflect your lack of control over this situation. Roll 2 dice and tell me how it goes.
We have a 4 and a 5.
Nice.
Nice. That's 2 successes.
And I cannot cheat, and Sam cannot cheat because we are sitting in front of each other and see our rolls. So
Yup.
Unless you're deciding to cheat together.
Yeah, that will happen.
that would be so complicated. Like,
Oh yeah, I have a 5 and a 6. Wink.
And you say wink out loud.
considering I'm not looking at Sam most of the time, I wouldn't even notice.
Okay, so you rolled a 5 and a 6. You had to go 3 or above. So that's 2 successes, so it works well. How does it look? How does it look like when Max cuts loose?
As I said, it's basically just this big lightning strike that this time actually hits exactly where she wants it to. In the crack,
Nice.
basically. And...
Like butt.
I was thinking like thunder crack, but you know.
Yeah, two kinds of people.
You shoot lightning.
Yes.
Maybe you're also a bit surprised how well it goes.
Yeah, I'm definitely
But-
surprised how well I hit the target, I think. Like, not the intensity of the lightning strike, but how well I hit.
Now I have to think of like the electricity guy from Hero Academia. Who's also like letting it all out is the only mode he has.
True.
True.
So, as the lightning strikes the iceberg, it seems like maybe the crack that you saw is also filled a little bit with water, because what you guys see from the shore is a lightning strike traveling through the iceberg, and then a gigantic rumble, and the entire left side, the backside from your guys at the shore, just sort of breaks off and falls into the water, creating a massive wave that travels towards the shore and towards you guys, but it dies out before you. Like, it's not a tsunami wave, it's just like a wave. By some miracle, because you rolled 2 successes, Max, you stay on your feet on the slippery iceberg and stand on the rocked boat, and now see the sword is only half submerged, like part of the blade is still inside the iceberg, but it's still a few feet above you, and you can't reach it by just reaching your hand out. But it is freed from the ice, like 80%.
What I would like to know is what the two on the shore are thinking after seeing this display of power from Max.
Ah, nice.
Nice.
I mean, Robin is definitely impressed.
Not appreciatively.
But
It's not like I'm impressed or something.
Robin is definitely impressed, and but tries to play it cool and shouts over, "Is there a flying bison inside? We could really use that."
You hear a chuckle from the camp counselor. The count counselor.
Max is
that's
confused. Max is confused because in Dreamland they do not have Nickelodeon.
That's fair.
Of course not. The camp counselor chuckles. You mean the Chaos Emerald? That's what I always have to think when someone says chuckling.
And as you, maybe I can give a little hint to you guys. As you look over to, maybe Robin, you definitely notice it. I don't know how much Willoughby is paying attention to the camp counselor.
I am.
But you see Laurie making a note on the clipboard, and something that looks very much like a check mark.
Nice.
And looks over at you guys and raises an eyebrow, sort of challengingly.
Max calls over to you. So, Will, can you levitate that out? I feel like if I shoot another one like that, the whole thing is gonna break apart.
I can try. Do I have to jump closer to it to be able to attempt that?
I think that depends on how your telekinesis works. Right now, the back part of the iceberg is blown off, so to you it still looks like the sword is stuck inside the ice. I don't know if you have to have a clear line of sight or if you can just...
I assume because of how I described it before, Will's telekinetic powers at this point basically work in a way where he can basically make stuff move towards him and make stuff move away from him.
Okay.
So line of sight is not that important. What's important is that I'm
Okay.
on the side where I have to pull.
Okay, right now there is half of the iceberg between you and the blade, but if you were to go to the side or behind the iceberg, then you could pull it towards you without having to pull the entire iceberg towards you.
Yeah, I say that, oh man, that's going to be extremely dramatic and definitely require a roll. I'm just going to walk around the lake.
You are in the inside of the crescent shape, so if you wanted to go around the lake, you would be there in around half an hour.
Oh wow, that's a big lake, huh?
I mean, you're at the worst possible point to get to the other side of the lake.
I'm gonna say
You would
Will.
probably be
Will,
faster if you swam over
yeah,
there.
Will is standing there and considering it. Like, do I just walk around? I think this is probably timed, right? And ultimately just shakes his head and says, "Okay, telepathy could work. It's not quite right for this situation. I have a different plan."
Wait, was the task just to get it out of the ice, which we kind of did, or was it to get it over here?
Laurie looks at you. Get the sword. You need the sword to point you to the next station.
All right.
So, unfortunately, the middle of the iceberg is not the place you have to get it to.
All right. Will is going to
Will?
just walk backwards a little bit. And I assume, like, do we have is there like an official camp uniform of some sort?
You tell me.
I assume t-shirts,
I'm gonna say this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I assume t-shirts. Like, yeah.
T-shirts with
definitely.
the camp logo.
Are they orange?
Yep.
Yes,
Sure.
yes, please let them be
I have
orange.
been holding back a Camp Half-Blood reference for this entire mini arc.
Well, Mimi got there first.
Yeah.
I haven't even read many of the books.
I actually read all of them for some reason. Okay.
They're
let's
not
forget
bad.
about it. They're fine. They're fine. They're just as children's books, right? Like, they're fine. The character development is a little weak. Okay, forget about it.
You take some steps backwards.
Yeah, I take because of the camp t-shirt. That was relevant. So if there's a t-shirt, like, I assume Will goes with the time-tried tradition of wearing like a jacket or a hoodie jacket halfway closed over the t-shirt because he's ashamed of wearing it.
Fair.
So
Sure.
technically
That
he's
sounds
wearing
very
it,
Will.
but you know, he can get around people saying, "Hey, you're not wearing your camp t-shirt." He like takes off the hoodie he's wearing over it and like stretches a little bit, away, and is like, "All right, Max, hold on to anything you can," and then he, like, with a bit of way made, he runs over and during running transforms into a giant burly black demon, and jumps right at the iceberg.
And
Okay.
and this time Robin actually stares at Will in awe.
Okay, I'm
Because
gonna
that was
definitely.
the thing that Robin wasn't expecting to happen.
I'm gonna give you the daring and awesome die for sure.
Okay. Also, I have like my demonic super strength,
Yeah.
which I will use for this jump. So
So-
that's 3 die, right? I assume it's.
That's 3 dice.
I assume this is like the direction of impulsive and power more than.
Yeah, I was
brains.
gonna say that sounds a lot like Brawn to me.
Yeah.
Super strength and changing. You can see as you sort of pass by the camp counselor that they just look at you with like their mouth hanging open and the clipboard sort of falling out of her hand. She has never seen such participation from you.
So for me, that's my number is a 4. So for me, that's 4, 5, 6 is a success.
Yes, 4 and above.
I'm a
3
little bit
dice.
more brainy than brawny. Okay, that's a 1, a 6, and a 5. So
Still decent.
Still 2.
2 above.
2 successes. That means it works well. I'm not sure how to adjudicate a demon jumping at an iceberg, but What was your aim? Tackling it? Destroying it? Get over there?
I'm not planning on destroying it. I just wanted to get onto the iceberg so I can try to physically pull the sword out.
Okay. Does your demon form have wings, or is it just super strong?
It's just like it's kind of Hulk-ish. It's just
Okay.
like big, thick muscles. Looks like it's made of obsidian, like slightly shiny, and has big ass horns, of course, but no
Sounds
wings.
to me a little bit like the sins from the Shazam movie.
Yeah, that goes in the right direction.
So this demon jumps across half of the lake and lands perfectly on the tip of the iceberg, just a small hand reach from the hilt of the sword that is sticking out of the sheared off side of the iceberg.
Sorry, didn't want to do it this way because, like, I think teamwork's important and all of that.
Max stares at him and then says, "You might just be the coolest person in the entire camp."
If the demon could get red cheeks, it would.
Aw.
You reach down, you grab the sort of, it looks like it should be made out of mist, but it feels soft but also solid. And you pull out this spectral green sword and you raise it above your head in a victory pose. And as you turn around, you hear like just slow clapping from Nori Ballard. She has picked up her clipboard again and is just clapping slowly and looking at you, sort of a bit aghast. You have acquired the Spectral Sword.
Da, 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 da.
Max, Will, you are still on a floating iceberg. Robin, you're still at the shore.
I would try to throw the sword for Max, like, here, catch.
I mean, I'll try to catch it, I guess. Preferably without getting stabbed.
And
Yeah, throwing swords at
Gallivant.
people.
Gallivant.
Gallivant, yeah. I was also thinking Gallivant because I just recently rewatched that.
yeah,
It's so good.
same.
Do not get distracted. Throw the sword.
I did. You're
I'm just
gonna
gonna
have to
say
tell me
she's
what
just-
I do.
I would say just lightly tossing a sword a few feet down will not require a roll.
Nice.
You're not in any time crunch.
Good.
Tell that to Gallivant.
You can do it.
No, the catching will require a roll, not the throwing.
Max, roll a, I would say that is brains keeping cool. Roll me a brains roll to catch a sword. I'm gonna give you an additional d6
Shit,
for
what
the
did I do
help
to you?
from,
I'm helping,
from
basically.
Will.
All right.
Why didn't you throw it to shore?
That's like a long way, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
he's
it's
a
a pretty long
demon.
way.
Yeah.
Like the demonic strength could have helped with that, but then you would get stabbed probably.
No, I
The
would
thing
just
is,
not
I don't
step in
wanna-
the way of the sword. I would just let it hit the ground.
I don't want to jump back to shore is my thing right now, and I don't think I can swim well with the sword in hand. And also, like, the ice, like, floats would probably not be able to, like I think I might be too massive right now for that.
So I got a 3 and a 5.
And you want to get
A 3.
a...
My
Oh,
number is a 3.
Yeah. So, as you touch the sword, you get a little gut instinct, which means you can ask me a question. But I'm also going to say, as you catch the sword, you sort of fumble it a bit, and one of your feet slips out from under you, and you slide halfway into the water. And as your foot touches the water, you see a tendril of water sort of shooting out and beginning to wrap around your leg.
Oh. We wouldn't have even figured that out if we just made it up.
Yep, if you hadn't thrown the fucking sword.
So you have the sword, but there's a water tentacle slowly wrapping itself around your foot. That is now wet. Your socks are also wet, I assume.
Who says I'm wearing socks?
I'm gonna try to jump down and hold on to you.
Yeah, but I would like to ask the question first.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Do I think that the tendril is reaching for me, or does it want the sword?
You have the feeling that the tendril reached for you as you touched the water. So you get the feeling that it's mostly luck that none of you touched the water until now. And that it has nothing to do with the sword and more like maybe a trap that supposed to make the challenge a bit more difficult.
Well, we
Unless
almost
you
didn't
roll-
activate that.
Unless you roll really awesome, obviously.
Yeah.
We were so close to getting out without a hitch.
I mean, right now it's still only wrapped around like your foot and your ankle, and it's not a massive tendril, and it's slowly working itself upwards.
Will is gonna jump down and try to pull Max, gonna slide down the mountain and try to grab hold of something a bit further down, so he can pull Max to himself
Okay,
away
out
from
of
the tentacle.
grip of the tentacle. Okay, I'm gonna say this is a brawn roll, where your super strength definitely helps. So 2 dice.
Can I
Alright.
help maybe by grabbing onto his hand or something?
I'm sure.
All right.
Let's go for it.
3 dice, 4 up. That's again a 5 and a 6 and a 2 this time.
So it works well. Nothing goes wrong, nothing goes exceptionally right, it just goes right. You reach down and grab Max's hand and pull her out of the half-submerged state, and the tendril tries to hold on, but slips off. And Max and you are now standing on the iceberg with one soggy shoe and a glowing sword. Congratulations.
Okay, so I can't cast spells while I'm in this form. So I can try to jump back unless you have a better idea.
I mean, I made it over the ice once.
I can just drop you off on one of the pallets, for sure.
And Robin is on the other side again. That one!
It might have changed, you know?
No, I mean, they kept track of the ice all the time.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it might have changed, you know, like it's not maybe swimming the way it was before or something.
I'm just gonna have to drop you off before I transform back.
I mean, the giant wave from half of the iceberg dropping into the water definitely pushed the ice sheets a bit around, but...
Okay, there's two options. I can either drop you off and then transform back, and then we make it over the ice, or I can try to jump back to shore with you and the sword.
I mean, if you could jump with just me and the sword, that would be pretty awesome.
I'd be jumping off of a swimming iceberg, so maybe not the best footing.
I mean, you know best what you can and can't do.
Will looks down at the water and imagines falling in and getting gripped by tentacles and pulled down. I'm gonna say we go over the flows and try that. So yeah, I drop Max onto the closest ice floe and then also jump on that once Max is off of it and transform back. Because I don't think they'll carry me in my demon form.
Yeah, as you jump down, it starts to wobble and sink a bit, but as you transform back, it bobs to the surface again.
Bob.
Now your shoes are kind of wet too. Damp. Maybe damp.
Are you wearing
is the
socks?
right word.
In the shoes?
This is the
probably.
important question of the adventure.
Probably like Chuck Taylors with socks in them.
Okay. Just, you know, for the world building.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
And Dixon is probably wearing Crocs with socks in them.
I'm doing that despite the Edict of 35 that forbade wearing socks inside of shoes after the Great Sock Wars.
It's an act of rebellion.
Yeah. That's not enforced anyways.
People refer to this era of the sock-off.
It's the sock-off era of the third age of humans.
Indeed. So,
can we maybe help each other
to...
over the ice, or I don't know?
Do you? I mean, you still get my help rolls, I guess.
Yeah.
That's true.
Because I'm still gonna be directing you.
True.
Oracle over there is helping both of us.
I would say that the help from Robin definitely gives you an additional die. I'm thinking about if this would be brawn or brains, because if you just want to jump across, I would say that's a brawn roll. If you want to help each other across it, I would say this is then more about planning and sort of figuring out how to balance and holding onto each other and stuff. So I'm gonna leave it up to you. How do you guys want to do it?
I'd say help each other, because then I can also help you out with my telekinesis.
Yeah, and I think it's like sort of the same situation either way, because I'm slightly more brawny and you're slightly more brainy, so it's basically the same, right?
And in this case, if I help you with my powers, I might get an additional die.
Yeah.
So I'm picturing it like this. You hold on to each other, like one of you goes over to the next flow and sort of holds their hand out, and if the sheet of ice starts wobbling, Will stabilizes it with telekinesis. So I will say that is 3 dice for each of you from the ability, from the doing a roll in general, and the help from Robin with them calling out which sheets of ice are stable or will get you there fastest.
3 dice, brains number below. That's 1 success.
I actually have 2 successes.
Yup.
A 3 and a 2.
I rolled a 5 and a 6 again, because I do that every single time, but this time it's bad.
You also have a super success.
So,
yeah, I rolled my number, so...
Max, Will, you get over the first few sheets of ice, no problem. Towards the middle, you notice that the wave that came out from half of the iceberg crashing into the water, the flows have floated back from each other a bit, so the gap is a bit bigger than you've been used to. And as Max jumps over there and will you stabilize the platform via telekinesis, you can't quite bring up the concentration to keep the one you are standing on stable as well. So as Max jumps over there, you slip on the ice and fall down, and the flow starts to tilt, and you start sliding towards the water.
Oops.
And you see the edge of the water sort of quivering, and a slight bump starts forming as if a tendril is readying itself.
How far apart are we?
If you wanted to get back over there, you'd have to jump.
Okay.
It wouldn't just be a step. But it would be a very possible jump.
Could I technically get the sword over there so Will could grab onto it?
Sure, but then you would have to grab it at the blade.
I mean, I am wearing my superhero gloves, obviously.
Also,
you have not tried
what
if the
what
sword
kind of
is
sword is it
even
anyway?
sharp. It is a spectral sort of soft sword.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
a spectral mist sword.
but still,
Yeah, but,
I'm wearing gloves.
Broadsword, katana, what
Okay.
are we dealing with?
I would say broadsword.
Okay.
Very stylized, like how you would picture a majestic
Most
sword.
of them are blunt
Pretty
weapons
long.
anyway.
What I was going to say anyway is this is a sword you are supposed to bring in from a camp.
Yeah.
So it's not sharp anyway.
Yeah.
So you can grab it at the blade and not cut yourself.
And just on the whole clothes situation, I think Max is literally just wearing her kind of superhero costume, and over that the camp t-shirt. Like the exact opposite
Does
of
he
Will.
still have the same?
No, it's it's not the same
is
as
it a different
later on.
costume then?
I think the symbol is like sort of an explosion instead of the lightning strike, and the color scheme is still red, but red with yellow, which is kind of the basic thing. And yeah, it's the opposite from Will. It's just the t-shirt over everything else, so everyone can see it all the time.
I assume the t-shirt grows with the demon form. They probably all have like Hulk wear t-shirts there that just stretch with form
They're
changes.
very stretchy.
Yeah.
Almost as if they considered people with superpowers when they
Yeah.
bought
Probably
those
they
t-shirts.
don't catch fire if you set your body on fire.
If you haven't tried it yet.
I mean there's probably
I
fire
think-
starters in camp.
Yeah.
So, Max, you reach over the hilt of the sword.
Yes.
Will, what are you doing? I assume you
I
want to grab
grab.
the sword.
I hold
and...
on to sword. Yes.
Okay, you hold
Take
on to sword.
sword.
You stop sliding, but you're still on the tilted ice, and it starts quivering a bit more. You have a feeling that you feel little jolts from below, as if the tendril was sort of nudging it towards tilting all the way over. But you have grabbed the sword for now. You're not actively sliding yet.
Robin,
Yeah?
do you actually not have powers?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, I was just thinking, do you have maybe like secret telepathy, telekinesis, anything like that?
Nope.
Water control?
Nope.
Okay. Just check in. Because I'm about to be tipped over.
It's just brain powers.
I have no superpowers, Max. How often do I have to tell you?
I believe you. I believe you.
I know that you do, Will.
Maybe try stomping. I don't know.
I have tried everything.
No, I meant Will.
Okay.
Like stomping the tendrils or something.
I mean, I'm not...
Oh boy.
Like,
I just imagine you like lying on a sheet of ice in a t-shirt and just like, sorry, we have a conversation here.
my focus with my powers is usually telekinesis, illusion, stuff like that. I can do other stuff, it's just not as good.
Levitate the whole damn platform.
I could try that.
That's a good idea.
And it's intense because Max just swore.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even bleeped out by a loudspeaker nearby.
I mean, yes, and also...
Just in that moment, one sheet of ice cracked apart and silenced
Also,
your swear word.
Max has not yet learned completely how child-friendly you should be as a superhero to be marketable.
Right.
So that can slip out, Later on, it's...
Should have gone to that workshop.
Max is still trying to be slightly edgy.
Exactly.
Yeah, Will is gonna try to levitate the float of ice he's on.
Okay, I'm not sure if this would fall under telekinesis, because I'm not sure if you can telekinesis something towards you when you are lying on top of it. That sounds very much like pulling yourself out by your bootstraps.
I mean, I am pulling it towards me and it never really reaches me because I keep pulling it towards me.
Yes, try to justify it. I mean,
okay.
It never passes me.
Sure, but it touches you all the time. And just do it. Take a die.
Nice.
Just roll your 2
And
dice.
see,
I do.
this is where you learn.
Is
If
it-
you
is it-
argue enough with your GM, sometimes
Is this
they
a
give
brainy or a brawny? Is this a fisty or is this a heady?
I'm gonna say this is a heady. That's a
Okay.
brains roll because you have to keep your cool and balance and stuff. This is less about physical or impulsive.
That's a 1 and a 6.
Oh boy!
That's
wow.
good. That's a partial success.
That's like the entire spectrum.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would have been 1 success no matter what your number was.
Exactly.
So, you levitate. How can I make this a... You succeed a bit, but you also fail a bit. Ooh, can I be this?
I mean,
You
my character doesn't have
concentrate.
to survive the summer camp, for sure. Do whatever.
You concentrate, and you actually manage to levitate the sheet of ice upwards, and it starts rising, and you can feel the tendrils sort of trying to grab onto it, but not quite managing. But you also are still holding onto the sword. One of you will have to let go, and there is a possibility that it will fall into the water, depending on if you are able to communicate very quickly who holds on and who lets go. Otherwise, we will have a no you first. Oh, sorry, no you first.
Wait, okay, I
moment.
didn't quite get the situation. I'm rising up, and I have to let go of the... one of us has to let go of the sword because I keep rising up. Or what's this thing?
Yes.
Okay.
But I'm going to give you the complication that one of you will have to let go of the sword, and you better hope that not both of you let go of the sword, because then it will fall into the water.
I mean, the logical thing would be the person holding on to the hilt keeps holding on to it, because Max is just holding on to the blade, which is
But
not a
personally-
very stable grip.
Yeah.
Hey, here's an idea. Before we keep talking about this, how about each of one secretly picks I hold onto it or I don't hold onto it, and then we reveal it at the same time.
All right.
That sounds... Because that's what I wanted to say. This is a split second decision.
Okay, I'm gonna mute. I
that
don't
I
have
don't
anything.
think we can logic our
I don't
way.
have anything to write onto here, so I'm just gonna mute us.
Yeah, I mean,
shortly
nobody's gonna see it
Just-
anyways.
just-
And tell
Someone
Sam.
you could
thumbs up or
hold up
thumbs down.
fingers.
Yeah, you just tell Sam, and then I say it, and then
Yeah.
you say
So
it
I'm gonna
after
mute us
you-
for a
you
second.
mute. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Julian, what is your choice?
I let go.
Yes, I hold on.
Okay.
I think
Hey.
personality-wise, that is very accurate to
No,
us.
it is.
Yeah, and I was also thinking, like, I'm rising up, and you're the person who was holding the sword already, so... If I hold
But
it
also-
as soon as I drop down, that's gonna be bad news.
Yeah. Also, I think that Max is still like, this is a mission. I have to finish this mission. The sword is the most important
Yeah.
thing.
That works.
So as you rise up, you instinctively let go of the sword as you notice it dragging you towards the edge. And Max, you still have the blade of the sword in your hand, and it did not fall into the water. Max, you are standing on a floating sheet of ice. Will, you are floating on still floating, but this time in the air, sheet of ice. I'm gonna allow you to
Nice.
sort of just gently float it over towards the shore.
Okay, I had another idea how to do this, but this also works.
I think we have spent enough time on floating sheets of ice.
My idea was just I sort of like slide down one of the sides of it a little bit and then like push it away from me to have it like launch itself at the bay.
I mean, you can do that if you want, but that would be a roll, I would say.
Sure, I'm gonna do that. Why not? That's fun.
But also, it sounds pretty awesome. Take 1 dice.
Hey, let's see what we get here. That's a 1, a 3, and a 4, and my stat is 4.
Nice.
Oh, I didn't say which one. I would say
I mean, the
this
last
is a
one was
brawn.
brain. I mean, the last
I would
one
say-
rising up was brain. So, brawn also works.
I would still go with a bronze roll because that's more showing off and less about intellect or cunning.
Then it's a partial success. That's exactly my stat.
Okay, so-
insight. Just tell me what happens, and then I use my insight for something that happens along with that, I guess.
Okay, so you shoot the sheet of ice towards the bay while you're still on it. You
I know a good way this could go wrong.
crash into the shore.
Yeah.
You manage to get over there. You take a big tumble off of that sheet of ice. I don't know if it will make sense this episode, but take half a point of damage.
All right.
As you tumble over the sandy, sort of pebbly shoreline and land like almost next to Robin, very undignified, but successfully.
Safe.
I'm too cool to care about looking undignified.
I offer Will my hand so that he can stand up.
Will takes a hand.
Yay, character moment.
Max, I'm gonna
Hey.
say, since you're already almost halfway to the shore, I'm just gonna say, with the help from Robin, and since the sheets of ice were pushed closer to shore by the wave, you're just gonna be able to make it over there.
Yeah, I
without
think I'm
any,
actually gonna use the sword maybe
incidents.
to steady myself on the ice a bit and, be careful and not just run over there like a maniac the way I did before.
Again.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me. So, you all are standing on the shore. Max, you have the spectral sword, and Laurie Ballard comes over to you with her clipboard and says, "Okay, that is one successful mission. Very well done, everyone. Great use of your powers. Sure." And she reaches over and touches the sword, and as she touches it, it sort of floats out of your hand and becomes mist and starts pointing in the direction back towards the camp, but a bit to the side, and floats in front of you, pointing towards one direction.
Cal.
So, just follow the sword to your next challenge. Have fun.
This is very video gamey now.
But that's what kids like, right? Kids like video games. If you make it video gamey, then maybe they will like the summer camp, and then they will tell the parents that they like the summer camp, and then more parents will send their kids here. Right?
Oh yeah, I've played
That's how marketing
all
works.
the video games. All the video games
every
released by
single.
Dreamland TM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have,
By
you
Dreamland
have played
Games
that,
and Merchandising.
You have played that Goose Tales game that nobody has heard about. The Diego Goose game where he just jumps across stuff and tries to not lose his temper while he does it.
And Heaven Rim.
And also Empire Livers, of course, the equivalent to Kingdom Hearts.
Empire Livers.
Empire Livers, I
This is
don't
the
know
best
why, but- Empire Livers.
No, Sora. Every living being has a liver.
Wait, Empire Livers was light all along.
So,
Max asks, will the other team be here immediately after us, or is there like a break for you in between?
I have to set up the challenge again, so they will be along in about 10 minutes. So, move along, I have stuff to do.
Right. No break for you. I'm so sorry.
No, it's a living.
It's a living.
Also,
It's a living.
can I just say how amazed I am that she made the check mark before stuff went south? Like she made the check mark before Will even got there.
I mean, I feel like
You don't know what she checked.
I also got a
Let's
check
check
mark. We got
something.
separate check
I
marks.
feel
There's
like the
multiple.
first check mark was just, can they use their abilities and are they capable of working as a team?
Yeah,
I feel like succeed mission is like an end thing.
right.
Mm.
Does she have to actually rescue us out of the lake or not?
You assume there's a reason why they put the person with water manipulation powers next to the lake.
I mean, she also
in
has
case
to
stuff goes
refreeze
wrong.
the ice. I'm
And
assuming.
make water tendrils grab
And
you.
make water tendrils
Yeah.
grab you.
Will puts the hoodie back on and says to the other one, so, next one, right?
Yeah, sure. Let's.
Yep.
By the way, for the stealing plan.
Yeah, that's why
so-
Max asked whether the team
Yeah.
would come immediately. Maybe we can see them on the way or something.
So Ryan is wearing the thing around his neck. I haven't mentioned that before.
What thing?
The thing that we're
document? The
supposed to
document?
steal, I guess. Unless
Yeah.
it was a decoy.
Wow, your brain is amazing. I didn't even notice that.
Oh yeah, Will is gonna also pick his backpack up again, which he probably also
yeah.
put down on the ground.
You know that backpack that something very important is in?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that Robin had an eye on it while you guys were gone.
Also, it's not like it's important to Will.
Yeah.
Okay, true.
I think you guys as characters also might know that there might be a reason that they gave you the mission on the day that both of
Yeah.
these cabins will be on a scavenger hunt where there will be little oversight between the stations, and that they are also probably understaffed and underpaid, so they might be very efficient in the way they set up their challenges, that maybe there is a point later on where the other team might play a part.
So there has to be an opportunity that they try to take as well, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they're not just
They
gonna
want
sit
your
there
stuff
and
as
do
well.
nothing.
Yeah, like if we don't get their thing, that sucks, you know, yeah. But they're also going to try to get ours.
Yep.
So we're going to meet them one way or the other.
On that note, by the way, Robin is looking around for a stone that is as big as a tennis ball-ish.
Sure, you can find one. There are a lot of like pebbles, sand, and some stones on the shore.
So Robin
Can
takes
you
one and
find
stuffs.
two, maybe even? One for
You
each
might
of
even
us.
be able to find two. One of them is slightly egg-shaped and less round.
Robin stuffs the rounder one into one of their pockets.
Will sees that and is like, I could make that more convincing.
Sure.
I'm going to try to cast an illusion on it to make it look like the stone in my backpack.
Okay.
Nice.
Is that a...
Illusions is one of my 3 powers.
Yeah, right. Just had to
It also
find
sounds
my
brainy.
notes. Yeah, it's definitely
It's
a brains
probably more
roll.
of a brain move.
I would
yeah.
say brains roll 2 dice.
All right. That's 4 and a 4, which is also my stat.
Nice.
Ooh.
Also, this is the first roll I did where my green die didn't roll a 5 or a 6.
Good job, Die.
Brain roll, you wanted to roll your number or below. You rolled your number twice. So we're going to go with 2 questions, since that's what we have established. You want to create a illusion of the orb, I'm
Yeah.
assuming. And since you have 2 successes, that works well. And the stone now looks a lot like the orb, but holding it in your hand, you can tell that the weight is still different. It's
Yeah.
an optical illusion and not you didn't transform it.
I assume the illusion was easier because I cast it on something that's like generally about the size and shape as the orb.
Does the other team
So-
know how heavy the orb is supposed
Yeah,
to be?
probably not.
No.
So you know,
Yeah.
like,
Also,
But if they
to
touch
top
it,
off
they
a bit,
might notice that the look and the feel of it are not the same, but that, I mean, it's supposed to be a magic orb that might mean something or nothing.
to top off the illusion, Robin is gonna as if self-consciously patting the outside of the pocket a lot, just to make sure that people will notice that there might be something hidden there.
Nice.
How very manipulative of you.
Thank you.
I think I'm just gonna ask like one question because I can't think of 2. Or like maybe it's one question in regards to 2 people. But the main question that I would ask is like, they had it around their necks, which was pretty obvious.
Yep.
My question would be, what would be like other places about as obvious as wearing it around your neck, even if not wearing it around your neck? Because like I want to hit exactly the same level of obvious as them, because that's clearly how they think.
You might go just the exact same way, like put it into a pouch and hang it around your neck. That might be very obvious, but also raise the same question that you guys are having. Is it obvious or is it too obvious? But if you want to go obvious, you could go the exact same route. Also, what a pretty obvious and standard strategy would be is just passing it around between all of you, so that it isn't in one place all the
That
time.
makes sense. No, what I'm thinking is Max could have it in the pocket, and Robin could wear it around the neck, because it's not gonna really impede Robin in anything they're doing, because they're not really gonna interact physically with the challenges if possible, while it might get in the way for Max.
that's true. Also, I feel like around the neck is still better than in just, you know, your front pocket. Like, slightly better. And I feel like if you're supposed to be the super brainy one, then maybe that's not as convincing.
Fair.
I mean, we're giving them a lot of credit for their ability to read our psyche, while their idea of hiding something was put it around your fucking neck.
If that isn't a decoy as well.
If that isn't also a decoy. I'm gonna say
Quick
this.
reminder, you guys are 11 and 12 to 12. Do not think about it like an adult. Think about it as a child.
I'm gonna think about it like
Where would
this.
you put a magic orb?
Max, put one in your backpack, and Robin, hang one around your neck. Because if there's like 2 of them that are pretty much visible,
yeah, they'll know
like,
that we have.
They're gonna
decoys.
know that there can't be 2. They're gonna know we're up to some tricks.
Right. So I'm gonna hang it around my neck in a sort of pouch, and still gonna do that thing where I check it every once in a while.
Yeah. Also,
Okay.
I have decided that Max is wearing kind of an unwieldy backpack, which will later on be the reason that she integrates lots of pockets into her costume.
Nice.
With your illusionated with your stones that carry a illusion on them safely tucked away, you make your way along the path. Do you want to go by the camp or just follow the pointing, floating, nebulous sword?
Efficiency.
Yeah,
Next mission.
Pointing the sword is just cool.
We're walking with the sword.
Yeah.
The sword knows.
As you follow the sword along the path, you wind around some trees and you go into the forested area to one side of the camp. And as you follow the path, you come towards a clearing with some big boulders that you guys maybe have used to just get some sun or climb around on and maybe test some abilities on. As you come closer, the wind picks up and some of the dust starts sort of getting picked up off the ground. And as you grow closer to the boulders, the wind picks up even more. And a tiny tornado starts forming. And as you grow closer, the tornado also grows. And with a big rumbling crash, one of the boulders sort of topples over, crashes to the ground in front of you, bursts into a bunch of smaller in comparison to a boulder, still pretty giant rocks, and all get swept up into a tornado. Before you stands a about 5 meter high, 2 meter wide tornado of just swirling rocks, dust, and pebbles, and it starts moving towards you. And this is where we'll end this little episode.
Hey.
Thank you guys so much for having some fun with me. I hope it was as funny to you as it was to me, even if there were some tangents in there that I hope Julian will cut out and not leave in.
The tangents are good. I keep in the good tangents.
Depends on the tangents. Some tangents are not good. And
yeah, those I cut, but I keep in a lot of tangents.
Okay, so I want to thank Julian for playing a character this time, Mimi for letting us get a glimpse of Baby Max, and our special guest Sam for joining us on this adventure, and maybe
You forgot to thank yourself.
Thank myself, and I'm gonna thank myself for my brain's ability to cough up some plot when I torture it into doing so. Thank you, brain.
Important power.
You are appreciated. I'm working on you.
That's the real superpower.
If you guys liked this little one-shot, be sure to let us know on social media. Julian, what are our social medias?
They are at
platforms.
Waypoint Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. At Waypoint Pod, all one word with an ad at the beginning.
Don't forget to plug the YouTube.
Thank you for the clarification.
Oh yeah, also I have a YouTube channel where I have this podcast and also another podcast that I do called Kill the Author. It's Burning Oleander. I upload all of the video on demands on there. If you want to have it play on YouTube, I guess.
So now that you know how to reach us, say hi, say what you liked, say what you didn't like, send us pictures of your pets. All of them. We love any pet.
Tell us that what we're doing is not up to your standards, because we sure want to hear it, and we definitely need that engagement.
Yeah, give us your take on the GIF debate if you want. But only if it's accompanied by a picture of a pet. It doesn't have to be yours, but a pet.
Don't steal a pet for this, though. Don't steal a pet.
Well, thank you to Vio for being our GM.
Vio, you're doing great.
I don't know how to handle this. Thank
Keep
you
it
for
up.
thanking me.
Woo!
You're welcome.
Vio!
You
Keep it up.
piece of advice from me, just say, hell yeah, you should be thanking me. I'm an awesome GM. Even if you're not feeling it, just say it. Fake it till you make it.
If you're a GM,
Sure.
you can just say anything. People can be lucky to have someone willing to GM that they know.
So, thank you all for listening. I'm going to cut this short because I really don't know how to handle compliments and I'm working on that. But I hope you liked this one. Well, chat us up if you feel like it, and if you don't, just send us some pet pictures. And we hope we're gonna see you next time.
Hear you.
Bye.
See you. Whatever.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.